Okay, welcome to another episode of Tabletop Sportcast Presents. And this is my continuing series looking at ChatGPT. And today I'm going to look at trying to create some project trackers using ChatGPT. If you're unfamiliar or haven't seen any of the episodes from this series just yet, ChatGPT is one of the latest AI tools that you can use. It's a text and language bot, in a sense, that you can interact with, ask questions, and it has an ability to pull a lot of different data sources in. So we're going to test its limits a little bit today and see if it can help us create a couple of different project trackers that we can use with our tabletop gaming. So I've got two goals for today. I want to create two different trackers today. First, I want to create one for stock car racing. And second, I want to create a golf tournament tracker. I've chosen both of these because in both cases, if you're planning on running like a season-long stock car race, and I'm going to be building a tracker that I would use with red, white, and blue racing. So I want to base it somewhat on the actual NASCAR scoring system. And then I also want to be able to adapt that for red, white, and blue racing. So it'll have to have a little bit of differences there. For our golf tournament tracker, I want to create something along the lines of what the FedEx Cup tracker looks like. So if I was to do a golf tournament, I want to try to track that. And that one I'm going to do almost exactly the same way it would be if it would be with the FedEx Cup, because most of the golf games allow me to track based on standings. And if I run into anything I might adapt that a little bit as well. All right, so let's dive into ChatGPT. And again, this is something you can get. Just type it into your browser. It's a free resource. You can log on using any Gmail account or any other email account will allow you to get access to it. There's two versions. You can see down here, it does allow you to upgrade to the Plus version. I am currently using the free version, which might be a little slower. I haven't really noticed too much. And I think sometimes it will limit you a little bit in terms of the amount of time that you're allowed to spend in the tool. All right, so let's get started trying to create a NASCAR stock car racing tracker. So I want to create a stock car racing tracker. Can you assist with this? So start with a basic question here, and I want to see what kind of ideas that ChatGPT comes in with. All right, determine the data you want to track, right? That makes sense. Choose a platform. Excel or Google Sheets. We're going to be using Google Sheets in this case. And then gather some data. And the data obviously is going to come mostly from my own gaming. Organize the data, update the data and then share your tracker. Okay, so not a whole lot of differences here, but let's start by going after what NASCAR. I want to build this tracker to simulate the same way that NASCAR tracks in their season points. Tracks their season points. Can you tell me how they do that? So let's see if we can find out what NASCAR does. Okay, so now we're getting some information here about just how points are calculated in a NASCAR race. right, in addition to race points, okay. In addition to race points, drivers can also earn bonus points for leading a lap and leading the most laps. The driver with the most points at the end. All right, so that's good. Does NASCAR award any bonus points for earning the pole? Okay, if a driver leads at least one lap during a race, they earn 1 bonus point, and if they lead the most laps during a race, they earn an additional bonus point. Okay, and this is something I've probably typically given out too many bonus points for in the past, so this is good. All right, so now I need to get this to simulate. So I think we have all the categories. I'm going to ask it now to kind of create what a table would look like. Can you create a table with columns for, let's do 10 race, column for you need to create a table using this data, using these categories, the categories above. Let's try it that way. All right, so we're going to see if it can actually give us like a table here, and here we go. So position, points, bonus points. So I think I'm going to ask it to update this table a little bit, and I'd like to have it also include the driver's name. Now, do they get a bonus point for winning the race? Probably not. All right, so now, can you change the table above, and instead of having a column for bonus points, can you list the 3 bonus categories listed above? Let's see what it does. All right, it is thinking. All right, let's see what it does now. All right, so now it's giving me a table that includes some of this information. So this I might almost have as like an informational table now. So I think the next step here is going to be I want to create a table to track drivers' points for the season. So I'm going to ask it to do that. Okay. Can you create a table to track drivers' points during the season. It should include enough category columns to track anywhere that drivers can earn points. I also want a column for total points. Let's see what it does. There's an example table. Okay, this is starting to look like what I might want to see. So there you go. Laps led, most laps led bonus points, stage points. So I want to ask about stage points because I'm not sure what the stage points are then. Winning bonus points. So did it say that it got a point for a win? Let's go back up here then. Okay. So let's see what we got here now. All right, so they gave me like 5 drivers. So you can see now they're including points for each of the different races, all the way up to like race N. You know, you can put as many as you would want there. Laps led bonus points, most laps led bonus points, stage points, win bonus points. All right, so let me ask here. What are stage points? Let's find out if we can find out an equivalent to this. NASCAR race is divided into stages with predetermined segments of the race. Okay. So I could do something with stage points then for some of the races. It's not really set up in red, white, and blue to do the stages, but I could do it as the sections of the race. So if I wanted to do like early, middle, late, I could set up some stages there. I also noticed it didn't include pole positions, and I do want to think about, but I'm going to actually leave it out for now because it's not really including the poles here. All right, so, and it looks like for the total points, it's just basically going to add up all of these. But let's ask that too. Are total points calculated above by adding all the columns together? All right, so now they give us like a basic formula here. Let's see, can you create this table in Google Sheets? All right, so it doesn't actually create it in Google Sheets, but you can see that it is going to give me the way to do this. And I would probably go through and replace some of the races with the actual race names. But I could then take this step by step and put this into Google Sheets pretty easily. So you can follow this step-by-step process. So, and then here they are giving me even like the formula that I would use here. So I've got that. Okay, so they don't have an image that I can use, but this is pretty good. So I have now enough information that I could build a tracker for NASCAR. So we're going to try a similar model, and I'm going to start a new chat, and I would like to build a season points tracker for a golf league that is based on the FedEx Cup model used in the PGA. So let's see what it tells us here. Okay, so I need a number of events, a point system, we need a playoff format. All right, I'll build the tracker. Again, it gives me the basic steps that I'll want to go through to make sure I do this the right way. Okay. All right, so we're going to find out what is the point system. What point system does the PGA use for the FedEx Cup? All right, so this gets a little complicated. But what I'm going to do is ask it to build me a table that shows like the order of finish and points earned for the different types here. Can you put all of this information into a table? And there we go. So it looks like top 10s are the ones who earn points. Did it say that up here? Okay. Great. So I've got my majors. I've got the Players Championship, which looks like it uses the same scoring, which as the other majors. The World Golf Championship has a little bit less, but I'll have to figure out like which events would that be for. And then I've got my different playoff events and some different point values for those too. Now, let's see. I think that covered everything here. Majors, Player Championship, got all that. We have the playoff format. I'm not going to worry about the number of events because that'll always be based on what I'm willing to run. But let's find out a little bit about the playoff format. All right, let me just find out if there's any other points. Do golfers earn bonus points outside of order of finish. Okay, so there we go. We have a few different examples. And again, I'd like to, can you put this information into a table? And there we go. So these tables are easy enough to like copy and paste into a I could put all these into a table nice and easily here. So tour championship, finishing position, scoring milestone varies, of course. So, all right. Very good. So we got that built. What is the playoff format for the FedEx Cup? All right. As we noticed on one of the earlier episodes, 2021 is as far as ChatGPT really goes in terms of its historical information. So if you're looking for information from like 2022, you're not going to be able to get it right now from ChatGPT. But anything before 2020, like 2021 and before, will get you there. So there's 3 events. The first event features the top 125 players. After 36 holes, the field is cut to 70, and then after 54, it's cut down to 30. And then the next one starts with 70, and then they got down. They still have it after 70, and then back down to 30. And then the final one just has the top 30 players. Okay, very good. All right, and once again, can you put this information into a table? And putting all the information into tables just makes it easy for me to copy and paste this, and I'll show that in just a second too. There we go. All right. So most of this should be easy enough. We're going to create a new Google Sheet here, and I just want to take this, and what I would typically do now is I want to make sure I'm far enough down here that I can get the entire table. But I want to copy this, and if I wanted to move this into like a spreadsheet now, I could probably just do paste values and then reformat this in any way that I want. Let's bring this up to like 18, maybe a little bit less. Let's go to like 12. That, and then with this one, we're going to expand out like this, and we'll wrap the text here. And there we go. So now we'd have like our basic table built to allow us to have this information in there. And I could bring each of the other tables over pretty easily too. In fact, if I wanted to and save myself a step, I could probably just copy it over as is. and just paste this in. I'm going to put this in a different tab just to make it easier for myself to organize. There we go. Now it's got that. I'm going to change my font. I like this one and I want to make it a little bit bigger, but overall, like, that's where we're at. So, and let's just put some borders on it, and there we go. Maybe even center everything, right? There we go. Okay. So I have two of my tables just easily copied over once I got all the information gathered from ChatGPT. This is just a really good way, again, like to start to simplify some of it. I don't have to really do a lot of thinking and doing a lot of research on my own. Like, it saves me the time to do all of that research. I have looked all this stuff up. Yep, I could have found the websites, looked up all this information, copied it all over, but in both of these cases, like in half an hour, I've got both of these set up the way I would need them to be. And that's really all you want to be able to do. So here's two separate trackers that we've built up, and I think you could really take advantage of this to help you just simplify some of the tasks that you're doing. And you could build this in Excel, you could build it in Google Sheets, given the information that you have. And I really love the way, like in the stock car one, that it even took you through the step-by-step process to build this. And I could have done the same thing for the golf one, but I gave you two different examples here of how you can go about doing that. All right, that's it for this episode. We built two trackers in under 30 minutes, so that's really the advantage of taking advantage of these AI tools the way that we have. All right, I should be back soon with another episode, but you can always come back here, check these out, and see what we've got. I'll put a couple of links to some of the other episodes that I've done in the chat at the end of here. All right, thanks a lot for watching.